Green Bay is a small town, only 100,000 people. Those 100,000 people may be different in many ways, but there's one thing that brings them all together: the Green Bay Packers. In Titletown, the blue-collar city only knows hard work, tailgating, championships, but more importantly, they know family.
We have a saying in this town: faith, family, and the Green Bay Packers are all that you need. Sanjay and I grew up in Green Bay. You could say that we are Green Bay, or even better, the voices of Green Bay. We bring a local feel of Packer fandom to a worldwide audience.
Friendship, family, and football.
Ladies and gentlemen,
This is the Freezer Podcast. We are back. This is the Freezer Podcast, where we bring you a local feel of Packer fandom to a worldwide audience. I'm Sanjay, and alongside me, like always, is Fred and Matt, and we are live in our home studios, brought to you by Game On Wisconsin. And we are, boys, let me hear it for a Taco Tuesday, 10-3.
yes, sir.
Green Bay Packers.
And
our boy,
Giannis.
our boy,
He's back.
Our boy. Yeah, he's back. He's back. He's got a nice little Supermax.
I like that.
Yeah, there it is. Supermax contract for Giannis. It's just huge for the state of Wisconsin, huge for the NBA, huge for just everybody that's just a fan of sports. It's just cool for a kid that gets drafted, has no chance of making it out of his troubled life, not troubled, but like hard life, and he goes and becomes a superstar and like basically the face of a city, and where the people adore him. So it's really cool to see that. So happy for Giannis and his family. We cannot wait till December 22nd when we are back on the court for the real stuff. It's right preseason right now, but we got Packer stuff to talk about because we have another MVP that we got to worship, and a team that is at the high right now, and everybody's talking about us. It feels like Wisconsin sports, man, in the last like 5 years or so has just been great.
Relevant, man. I love it.
Championship, though. We got to win the ship. We're always talking about, but then we get our hopes and dreams crushed in the championships, the game before the championship. But we're here. We're talking a big victory Tuesday. Sorry. Victory Tuesday against the Detroit Lions, where, this is one thing that Fred said in our chat. We never felt like we were like worried, and I know a lot of people are saying the same thing too. It just felt like, even with it being close, you just kind of felt like, all right, guys, when are we just going to get that one key stop from the defense? Because Matt always asks for that. 1 3 and out, and then
just one. Come on, guys.
And then we got it, and then you go up 2 scores. Now, obviously, yes, they did get that little bit of a little push, and things kind of seemed like it was going to unravel. But at the same time, I was like, you know what? For some reason, this team has figured things out now at week 13. I guess 14, right? Technically 14. Is it week 14 or 13? I
lost count, dude. I don't know.
Anyway.
What does it matter? Whatever.
You start to figure out what your identity is, right? Like, that's the thing. And Fred, real quick to you, what do you think the identity is in a situation like that where you're up 28-14, and then you do give up that touchdown. Now you're only up 1 score, but then it's to close things out. Matt, you always have been asking for that, closing games out. So what do you guys think about that? Closing it out against a team that obviously knows us.
Well, it's hard because I think initially we envision not having to close games out. Like, that should be done in like the 3rd quarter when it comes to playing someone like the Lions, right? Like, we're not like 4th quarter, like, oh God, what's going on here? Like, let's get this one figured out, guys. The thing, I don't know if I can really, if I could put one word on the identity yet. I think it's still somewhat kind of coming about. But what I do like, and what I have seen, is some people starting to be identified in that defense. And that is people like Rashawn Gary, people like Kamal Martin, people that are starting to step up and really be those names and those big time playmakers. So to answer your question, not sure I know what the identity is, but I've identified a few ballers on that team.
I just wanted to add, you can tell when this fan base and us here are focused on the big prize, and we don't even mention the fact that we took home the NFC North title.
It's on the title of our screen. I didn't even say it.
I know. If we were Vikings fans, that would be the first thing out of our mouths. Yeah, exactly. So, congrats on that. That's step one. But but you're right, Sanjay. I'm always begging. Just close the damn game out. Like, just close it out. Get that stop or get that field goal or touchdown that just puts it away. And they've been finding a way to get to that. In particular, this last game. I mean, Mason Crosby bombing that 57-yard field goal after I think it was a false start or something, offsides or
false start,
false start. So. And he banged that out. That be good from 60. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So I don't know. The team's scrappy, man. They know how to win games. They know how to score in bunches. They know how to defensively, for as much as we complain and nitpick about them, they do put together nice stretches during the game that allow the offense to get clicking and to score points. And that's usually when they have that burst of, 3 or 4 drives where they get a couple of touchdowns and a field goal, and they kind of put themselves far enough up. You just want to see them hold on to that score line and not let the team creep back in. But they're winning the game, so that's the most important part.
Yeah, and I think too, defensively, really quick, and I know I've talked a little bit about identifying a few people. I want to shout out a couple people, and I know we'll get into this a little bit more, but there's this level of talk about, kind of forgetting to mention things, but when you talk about that secondary and kind of how well Jair, and I know Kevin King has his issues, and believe me, I'm one of them to acknowledge them. But when he's on the field with Jair, there's something there, man. There's this like cool, like sexy, like swaggy feel to those two. And it's really kind of fun to watch. And it's kind of, I don't really worry. Like we go against number ones, and I'm like, I ain't even like that worried about it.
Yeah, it's that one thing is if you're not hearing about the secondary, that means they're doing their job, right?
Exactly.
Like I think we always talk about the D line and how these linebackers are not covering or not tackling, but we're not hearing a lot about the secondary because they're doing their damn job, and I think that's the biggest thing. You're seeing an elevated play of Darnell Savage. You're seeing Adrian Amos, who's consistent, and then your 2 guys on the outside. I mean, they're everything that you need. Now, Chandon Sullivan, I know he had a little bit of a rough go at it on Sunday. He's playing obviously more with Raven Green out, but you know what? That's the growing pains of a season. That's how you mature as a player. That's how you get through this whole experience, because get these things out of your system now, because come playoff time, and if Raven Green's not good to go, or whoever's not good to go, even one of our big names, you might need to step up. So that's the kind of stuff I'm okay with it. If you have these little issues right now, even with the MVS fumble against the Indianapolis Colts.
Well, you'd rather see your third cornerback have the issues and not your 1 or 2.
Yes,
you know what I mean? Like that's a good thing.
And even to your point, Sanjay, about when your big names need to step up. I mean, think about that when you think about our front 7. Like, take out the secondary, because the secondary is flawless right now to a point. But when you think of that front 7, right? You think about the guys like Preston Smith, Zadarius Smith. Kenny Clark, I thought, had a fantastic game, but when I'm really going to hone in on Preston and Zadarius, they're not necessarily playing at their best levels. What about when they do start playing at their best levels and Rashawn Gary is playing at that? Like, it's going to start, like, they're going to come on. Maybe I'm wrong, but I would like to think that they're going to come on when it really starts to matter, and that comes playoff time. And you're going to see them have that extra little push that maybe they didn't have last year. Mix that in with Kamal Martin and Rashawn Gary and everybody else playing better. That's where this defense that gets absolutely no love in the media world will start to get some love again. And I think that's going to be exciting to watch.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you want, right? This is how you want to build as a team. This is how you feed off each other. This is how the energy and the excitement of winning helps the team, because you know what? If you have that belief in each other, the guy next to you, and then you're pumping each other up. I mean, let's talk about the debut of Tavon Austin. I heard a lot of things that on the sideline, he was jumping and jiving. He was like pumping people up. Even if he's only getting 2 catches and maybe a couple punt returns, he was still acting like he's been there for 13 games. And that's exactly the energy we need.
I love
that lack of energy we always worried about.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Matt.
I'll just say, I just want to jump quick. I love that they got him the ball early. I know they didn't go to him a bunch but how many times have the Packers brought a guy in off the streets like, Ryan Grant last year, and he never sniffs the field?
Robert.
Roberts. So
Yeah.
it's actually nice to see that the
He's
addition
still on the
to
roster,
game.
I think.
I know. I don't.
He's still on the
Is he?
roster.
I don't know. I think they
haven't
released him
seen
last
someone
week.
say that he's been cut, so I think he's.
I
no
think he got released last week. Actually.
Oh, did he? Okay, all
I
right.
think it was like snuck behind like some fourth grade news or whatever.
But it was nice to see them get him the ball right away, get him a couple catches, get him acclimated. He's out there returning kicks. I felt
We know what he can do, right? We've seen the clips. We know what he can potentially do. It's just a matter of getting him comfortable in the system, getting him some scripted plays, as they mentioned on Twitter. But hey, real quick before we go move forward, Aaron, Nick, Jacob, Bernard, JJ over in the UK. Brett, thank you guys so much for joining us. Everybody that's watching us right now, thank you so much for joining us for a beautiful hour with the three of us. It was a great show just with Jamal Williams just a little bit ago. And thank you again for sticking around for another great hour on Game On. We have a lot of great shows here, so check us all out all week. So but anyway, guys, this is a great moment just to kind of like see what this offense can really look like against. I mean, forget what you can't control who's on the field on the other team, right? I mean, we always get that. They were obviously missing some players too, but it's just good to see what this offense can truly look like. And if it's really starting, like you said, Fred, if this is like you mentioned it with the Smiths, if this is what could happen, like just now, like what happens if we're really getting gears going and there's just no way of stopping us? And it felt like there was no way to stop us on Sunday. I know they did stop us, but go ahead, Fred.
Aaron Rodgers, you don't need to question that. Devontae Adams, you don't need to question that.
Big Bob.
Aaron Jones, there's been some questions there with
beating him, man.
Getting him the ball, but you don't have to question his ability. MBS looked like a completely different MBS, new MBS. Who dis?
We got to come back to him.
Yeah, and then which we will. And then you look at someone who I guess me and Sanjay, we should probably eat a little crow because we've been off on tight ends because Big Bob definitely was the guy who rose to the top on this one. And we were wrong.
It wasn't Jace.
We were with Jason Josiah, and I feel a little bad about it. But
hey, that's just another guy we're gonna get back, though, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. So, but Tanyan, whatever you want to call him, I'm gonna call him Tanyan because that's already been ingrained in my brain. So, sorry, but Big Bob is starting to look like such an incredible asset to this offense, man.
I agree. And, I still say it in the chat, and I still keep saying it. I know we always want to crown these guys, especially when they get the TDs, and it's really awesome. I do agree.
I know.
But you all agreed with me. Inside the 20s, I want to see some more. I think the scheme really opens him up really well. He's really athletic. I think they could do so much more with him. I really just feel like they just need to watch the Kansas City Chiefs and how they use Travis Kelce. I think he could be the same thing, in all honesty. I really do. And I know it's a copycat league, so copy the way they used Kelce because, in all honesty, he could have 1,000 yards because he's just that athletic.
Well, this last game was huge because, like you said, Sanjay, we've been waiting for him to have that game where he has a bunch of catches between the 20s. Like right now, he's been kind of like that weapon in the end zone. He's almost is he close to the lead in touchdowns for tight ends, or he's got to be right up there? I think
Travis Kelce's got to have like 10 or something. So,
but he's got 7 or 8. I mean, he's been a huge weapon, and like you said, I think that they can really mirror his game after Kelce, how they use him. I mean, the block he threw on the defensive guy and knocked out 3 of them.
Right there.
He literally knocked over 3 guys, then rolled out and caught a ball. Like, that's insanity. The thing that I like the most about him, and I agree, like, I want to see more of him. I want to see more inside the 20s. We've seen a couple bombs from him. We've seen the red zone ability. And that's great because realistically, I think I'd rather be on that part where I'm looking more for inside the 20s instead of only seeing inside the 20s and no red zone and no big plays. Because I'd be like, oh, I want to see a big play. I want to see a big play. But the thing with him is I think that the progression of this offense and the direction of this offense is going to slowly transition more into him. And I think it's just kind of a work in progress because we're seeing him progress in his route running abilities, his blocking abilities, his catching abilities. And if you look at past offenses that LaFleur's been with, and I know that's never super fair to do because people are always like, wow, he had this guy and this guy, but he's never truly kind of had someone like Big Bob. And I think he's going to use Big Bob in that Kelce, Ertz, Kittle type of role. And that's what's going to make it so dynamic.
And Polar Bear Strauss gave us a little update here. It looks like he and Kelce are tied at 9. So
I was gonna
Right.
say, I think Kelsey's killing the league with yards
and catches. Yeah. So
Well,
that's
as JJ pointed out,
awesome to say. So
he's 2 off the franchise season mark. So you
right.
know, 3
I
games
think
ago, he
the
might get
last time it was like Bubba Franks, I
I'll
think.
say Bubba
Right?
Franks.
Yeah.
And
So
the thing is, it's a great point about Tanya, because J. Mike was probably his other most lethal tight end, but he was like kind of like a de facto receiver. He wasn't much of a blocker. And I think Big Bob is like an all-around tight end. Like the guy can catch, run, and block. Like he's exactly what the offense needs.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what?
Thanks,
Let's
Joey. Great observation.
Hey,
Yeah,
hey,
boy,
I
Joey.
would have won that bet. Fred would have been wearing a different shirt. So, let's just real quick. I mean, because I know there's so much great stuff to talk about this team, but let's really quick talk about the other guys that are starting to get heated up too. Because we didn't even mention Lazard or MVS. I mean, these two guys are another just weapon and dynamic, and we haven't even talked about the guys that's part of our own damn network, and that's Jamal Williams. I mean, those are all 3 names that we haven't even mentioned yet, and those are weapons. Like MVS was, I mean, I know he had the bigger game yard wise and everything like a few weeks ago, but this felt like a bigger game. I felt like this was obviously the catch was amazing. I mean, that was one hell of a way. Like he must have saw
best catch as a pro
hand strength in the week before against the Eagles, and he was just like, "Oh, I think I can do that," and then he did it. And you know, just the fact, and I think Devontae said it really nicely. The way to overcome adversity is to prove everybody wrong and just ball out. Just don't go back at anybody. Don't try to come back with words. Just do it with play. And he did it. I mean, I am one to do it. I always do it. I'm always like, are you surprised he dropped it? Are you I'm that guy. I really am, and I should stop.
Dude. But listen, I've been an MVS hater. I was, and I still think the Packers should add a receiver. But like, let me tell you something. This guy has completely changed how I feel about him. He's shown up in a huge way, and I think he's done this in the face of extreme scrutiny and from the fan base and from national writers, people calling him out. And all he's done is shown up, worked hard. He has the respect of his teammates and his coaches, and now you're starting to see it translate on the field. I mean, we just talked about that catch he had. That was his most impressive catch as a pro. Rodgers called it out, in his post-game press conference. So,
and he's got 17 to show him the way because he had the same treatment. So
you talk about a guy and the team that is starting to get those role players, those secondary guys slotted in, and they're playing well as we round the last few games here into January football. So MVS, I mean, if this guy can keep ascending as he's going, man, I mean, it just makes this offense all that more dynamic and tough to deal with, honestly.
All right, so it can't be done without one guy, and that's Mr. Aaron Rodgers. Obviously, we saw all around the news. I know this is getting saturated, but let's just be real quick. Mahomes has the off game, but still wins. Rodgers now in some categories is leading the way, and now it's all about this, who's going to win this MVP. But at this point, with what we're doing and on the pace that he's at, and also just the fact of, what the remaining schedule is and what the narrative really shows for this award, because that's usually what they go by is narrative of what happens. I'd love to see Rodgers get this one. Obviously, I know Matt was a little upset with the poll that was posted like a few days ago about if you'd rather have another MVP.
Is that a real question?
And that's a great poll. But you know what? I'd rather have a Super Bowl MVP, and maybe that's a little better. There you go. But you know what? I mean, we see it on a game basis. Nobody else sees it other than Packer fans because we get to see it. We get to watch it front and center. And it's obviously something amazing. I mean, just the throws that he was making, not only in just this game, but all season, as we already know. We don't have to always go on it, but it's just fun to do it because we have him. And, like you just said with Giannis, with going to Packer games, right? You're like, we don't get to go any games this year, and you're like, you don't want to take it for granted. Same thing with this quarterback, right? You don't want to take him for granted, so let's just keep drooling over everything he does on a weekly basis. But I think he's the MVP. I mean, obviously we still have 3 weeks to go. He could throw 6 picks in the next 3 games. I'm not saying that I want him to do that, but obviously things can happen in games. But you got a nice 2 primetime games ahead of you. You got Saturday night and next Sunday night. So, it's kind of looking nicely for him in this little race for the MVP, right?
I mean, I'm with you. I mean, I'm a homer. Obviously, I'm drinking green and gold Kool-Aid, so he's my MVP. No slight to Mahomes. Obviously, he's the face of the NFL probably and will be for, the next 5 to 10 years. But when you think about Rodgers, going into the season, what were the questions about him? Oh, he's old, he's washed, he can't get those, laser pinpoint accuracy passes anymore. His legs are gone. They had to draft Jordan Love. He's going to feel the pressure. And all the man has done is basically put up his best year as a professional. And he may go down again as the MVP with his best statistical year. I mean, he is, we say it every week. We ran out of things to compliment him about. I mean, he is just, I don't know, godlike, I guess, at this point. It's and he's defying the age. And I got to think when you go and vote for the MVP, when you're looking at it, do I want to give it to the kid or am I going to give it to the old man? And whoever he swore off, I got to give it to the old guy. So yeah. Rodgers is just dynamite. What else?
He won't just plenty of time to win more MVPs. He's got like 10
exactly.
years,
He's got exactly.
Hey, let's go with Duke's question here real quick because this is what we can kind of shift our focus to because it's news. We always do post news in our show. So yes, we have news of our boy that just got a show on before us that his agent is in town and that there could be some talks happening for our very own Jamal Williams that may stay longer than we thought, and that's great. But then we also got to talk about the other guy, Aaron Jones, who just got new, agents and is going to be represented by Mr. Scott Boras himself, which we Drew Rosenhaus. Sorry, yeah, I'm always Scott Boras.
Same thing,
MLB, right?
Whatever.
Yeah,
he's the baseball guy for the NFL. Yeah,
exactly. Sorry, and you know what that means, though, and that ultimately means they suck every little bit of money out of you. When you're part of the Rosenhaus team, and that's great for the player. You know what? Every player deserves what he needs to be, getting because that's what they deserve, right? But at the same time, you're like, damn, no more. You're probably not going to see the team-friendly one, most likely. I don't know. I would like actually to see how many team-friendly deals Mr. Rosenhaus has ever done in his time frame.
Well, and I want to know like what his old agent failed on. Like they clearly got to
man, it's getting like a lot more tread than I thought. Like I feel like when you just don't get a deal done, you're like, oh, okay, whatever. But when you start firing someone mid-season, you're like, and then you make light of it. Like,
and it's not like he just hired any other he hired Drew Rosenhaus and making a statement like sign me or I'm out of here.
Like, you show me the money. This is basically that moment.
Exactly.
Literally that moment. And Tom Cruise has got to show him the money.
What's your price? What's your price point? What makes you guys feel comfortable or uncomfortable in terms
of
Ken
in the chat? Is Ken Ingles in the chat? I don't know the monies as well as everybody else. I think 10 million is rich. Like that's a lot of money for running back. I know what Dalvin Cook is around that, right? I think he's 11 or something, 12.
Okay. Here's my thing. I would have no problem paying a little bit more if the contract is shorter.
Yeah,
if it's get like a 5-year deal. That's the thing where you get into trouble because then you start having to have them in like their early 30s and they're no longer good. If you could just get him for 3 years when he's still in his prime years, fine. I'll go up to 11. Well, we'll deal with it. He's a weapon.
Someone in the chat, give me Kamara and Cook's deal. Someone say it in the chat because I don't have.
I don't think ultimately this is probably not going to be super popular and everything like that. But I think you have to just genuinely consider the franchise tag and move forward with that. And I know the franchise tag is not a popular thing in Green Bay, and we haven't seen that very often. But we also haven't seen the third contract either, and that was Bakhtiari. So I think. To kind of piggyback on what you've said all season, Sanjay, but to also benefit what we've been saying is you don't pay a running back because they don't last long. But if you pay them for let's be realistic. Let's be cards on the table, real, no bullshit. You say 3 years. Do you really think that Aaron Jones has 3 more full years in him at this exact level? I think you can probably for sure guarantee 1. You're pushing 2. 3 is a real limit. So to get him for 1 more year for a $10 million franchise tag after you signed A.J. Dillon, you focus more on getting Jamal Williams signed up, and you look at just trying to replicate this running back room for 1 more year, and then you have to consider letting Aaron Jones go. It's not popular. It's not sexy. It's not probably what any of us really want because of his dynamic ability. But the truth of the matter is he's going to demand a lot of money, and bringing in a guy like Drew Rosenhaus, a Miami native, a guy that pinches every penny, he is going to ask for good numbers. So if you were to franchise Mr. Aaron Jones, you'd be looking at around that $10 million mark, which I think is where everybody would be at their maximum kind of number. That's where I'm at. So this is my thing. If I agree, if we could do 3 years for him, I think that would be great. But I think ultimately we have, like, from a organizational standpoint, I think franchise tagging him, getting him for that next year, and then letting the cards go is probably where you have to be.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing: he's not Cook and he's not Kamara. I mean, he is great, but then the way that we use him, Matt LaFleur does sometimes forget to use him, or he just also likes to use Jamal because he's just as dynamic. I mean, he's not as big play as Aaron Jones, but he is a great running back too. And I think that's why that you're seeing them save their legs, get him ready for the postseason. Kamara and Cook, they really run the tires on those guys. I mean, I know it's been a little bit different with Taysom, but they really run the tires on those guys because that's all they have, really. I mean, Michael Thomas is great, but you got to tell me that offense runs through Kamara when Drew Brees is there. He throws.
Well, and this point that Rod made. This is a point that Rod made is true, because I was going to say too before he said it, but it's like he's not a traditional running back where he's getting 300 carries a season and is getting beat up. He's really. He's maybe one game he gets 10 carries and a couple of catches. Like, he's not a high volume, carry kind of guy. So I feel like, body wise and in terms of where he's at with his age, maybe he has less tread than a guy normally would at this point.
Sure. Well, I mean, McCarthy didn't use him for 2 years, right?
He did. No,
I mean, let's just be honest. He's fresh for 2 years.
So to that point, you're right. I do think that you might get a little bit more than maybe what I initially said, due to the fact that really last year and this year were the two biggest years in his career and carries wise. But even last year we questioned some of his touches, and now here we are again at this point of the season, drastically questioning his amount of carries. I know you say it every single game, Matt, and I think we've wondered where that first, those first 5-6 weeks, it was like find a Brinks truck, rob it, and give the guy the money. Yeah. Now we're like, well, I mean, we're winning big. We're winning big, and we're not winning because of him. Now he has helped us win a couple games. He's helped put some points on the board, and I'm by no means undermining the way he plays and his ability. But if I don't, and this could maybe be part of how they're attacking this free agency, if you will, is by lessening his carries, lessening his bargaining chips at this point in time might be kind of their strategy. Otherwise, they are drastically pitch counting him for the playoffs, which is very possible as well.
But here's the thing too: when you see Jamal in here, and this is no disrespect to Jamal, you're noticing some of the moves that he's not making that Aaron can, and the big playability is clear facts that Aaron Jones has. And I thought maybe our offensive line was the key. Like, maybe we just needed to insert any running back. But there's a lot of times where I'm just seeing Jamal kind of run into a wall, and I'm like, and then we're like always wondering, he's getting like 6 straight snaps in a row. You're like, where's Aaron Jones? That's why you text it. You're like, where's Aaron Jones? And it's like, okay, when he does come in, it's always that second effort, that third effort, that fourth effort. Like, he hits the line, then he bounces it out. Like that, you can't teach. Like, I mean, yeah. I can. That's the only reason why I've come around to saying, look, man, this guy might be special. I don't care if he was drafted in the 5th round, because he might be a special player. And the fact that you could draft another Aaron Jones in the 5th round is what makes this hard. So, I mean, there's a lot of questions. Maybe this is a good thing that Drew Rosenhaus is in, because now things can maybe get done. Maybe that means it's going to be a positive for the Packers, but just based off history,
but you have to question again why the first agent was fired. If the first agent was fired was because of his incompetence to get the money that Aaron Jones was looking for, you have to wonder if that set a trigger in Aaron Jones' mind to say, okay, I'm going to go get Drew Rosenhaus, and now I'm going to get a little bit more because now I'm pissed. So maybe there was, and I'm not saying towards the organization per se, but maybe the organization ends up feeling that because of this. Well,
he knows his value.
We all know. Everybody knows the Packers are low ballers. The Packers are for sure. Not, they don't throw money around. So of course, he
was the FedEx running whatever person, right? He just got a 75-yard run for a win. I mean, that's basically that game was
For
still
sure.
a close game, and he literally closed the gap on it. So
he's as dynamic as we've seen at the running back position the Packers have had in our lifetimes, at least I think. And it's such a tough debate because we're not in great cap space area, and so it's like you gotta make some tough decisions. But we haven't seen a guy like this. It's like, oh, you hate to let him go, and then he just goes and just whoops ass somewhere else, and like you just take a step back. So
you signed Bach and you signed Clark. So tell me, I didn't think you're going to get those two guys together. So here's the thing: I don't know what's happening. I know Corey Linsley's tag might go down. I don't know because I mean he's not available right now, so I don't know what his price tag is. But
if you sign Jones, you can wait
for another day.
King and probably Linsley.
Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we obviously have our hero of the game that we have not mentioned. Actually, Matt mentioned a little bit of it, so stay tuned for that. This is the Freezer Podcast. Yes, the Powers Comics hero of the game. I feel like Fred should announce this one because he has more of it to show on his face. But because I don't have
Silver Fox,
the Silver Fox himself, Mr. Mason Crosby is your hero of the game. I mean, sometimes you get so in awe of Devontae Adams and Aaron Jones and Aaron Rodgers, you kind of forget about the other guys that just do so much, but at a small, have such a huge impact at a small, position. And what Mason Crosby obviously did that Matt mentioned, in the beginning was nail a 50. What was it?
57.
57. Yeah. 57 yard field goal to really just kind of, oh my God. I mean, it was
score game.
Exactly. That was as, clutch as it probably could get for a kicker who's had obviously a tough, go at it in that stadium, who's had some couple bad ghosts there. As you already remember, from a couple years back that, he had that really awful game there. So obviously this was a really great moment for him. And just a nice little take that Ford Field or whatever, it's called. I think it's Ford Field. It's not Silverdome anymore. Right. So, so yeah, it's great for him. Hey, Mr. Silver Fox up to my left over here. What do you think about Mr. Mason Crosby?
Mr. Consistency, man.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy's he's so incredible. I know we've had a couple missed PATs. Whatever. Let's not even spend time on that. The truth of the matter is that he has been an absolute consistency for our team for a very long time. It feels like I don't even remember when he started playing for this team. But you're right. He had a couple bad games against Detroit. One of them really bad against Detroit in Lambeau, where he had that chance to win the game in overtime in a windy Lambeau and completely shanked it. I think it was like 3-4 years ago. So he's come back ever since that 1 year where he had that really bad year and they restructured his contract. He has been nothing but absolute money. So it's really great. And the thing that makes it, I think, a little bit sweeter for me, and I would assume for you guys and everybody in the chat, is that when you look around our division, how badly they just Detroit can't find a kicker. Minnesota consistently just does not have a good kicker. They've lost playoff games. They've lost NFC championship games. And then you look at the Chicago Bears, same exact thing, double doink. So for us to not only be the leader when it comes to quarterbacks, to receivers, but to always have that consistent, like we take it for granted. I mean, you look at like a team like Minnesota or even Chicago for that matter, in the last decade alone, you could look at 2 Super Bowl appearances if they had Mason Crosby.
Oh, for sure. I mean, yeah, Chicago and the double doink, like you see it all around the league too. It's not just in the NFC North. I mean, we get to see it nice and live in front of our TVs.
Well, who was Minnesota dude that completely shanked it to the left?
Blair Walsh.
Blair Walsh. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, that was an NFC Championship caliber game as well. I mean, even the other guy, Daniel Carlson, who was the one that on the Clay Matthews, the overtime one that we tied them. Like that guy couldn't make a field goal either, and then they cut him literally the day after.
You guys have both brought it up, but look around the league. How many teams just can't find a kicker that's reliable? Right. I mean, like, people were ready to run Mason Crosby out of town a couple years ago, and he had that poor year. But I mean, the guy has just been as good as it gets in a kicking position. I think maybe outside like a guy like Justin Tucker. But I mean, even from his first game as a pro, I think it was back in 2007. They played Philly opening day at Lambeau, and I think he banged home like a 53 or 54-yard field goal to win. I mean, as a rookie, you got to have some stones to do that, particularly at Lambeau.
Look at you going back to his rookie year.
Wow, that was impressive.
Yeah. Hey. Little Google on that one. But he's the special teams captain for a reason. Obviously, he's been here forever, and he's kicked so many clutch kicks so we can't even recall him. I mean, so I'm lucky we have him, and as long as his legs are working, man, he's got a job here.
Yeah, and here's the thing: he made the one tackle that none of our other special teams can make. So
exactly.
He's our best special teamer on the entire.
He really should be our only special teamer. He should be our special team coach. He should be our punter. He should be our kicker, and everybody else should kick rocks because the rest of them suck.
Speaking of special teams,
go for it.
How many of between? I think I know the answer here. Who was shitting their pants when the Lions did the onside kick and it was just rolling around and nobody was grabbing it? I'm like, oh my God.
I think the entire Packer Nation.
Brandon Bostic.
Yeah, see, I knew it. I said it to
I had two family members who I will rename nameless in this situation, who literally texted me and were like, no Bostic comment, nothing on Twitter, nothing about Bostic. And I wanted to be like, because and then I went on there and looked to see if he made a comment because the dude just drives me nuts. What's up, Willie D?
I feel like you guys need to be put in a room together and just need to hash it out.
I'm good. I'm good,
bro.
It's hatred. It says. All right, hey, real quick, thank you everybody that is in the chat that's going crazy in there. We appreciate that. If you have any questions for us, shoot them at us. We'll see them. Don't worry, we're trying to get to everybody. This is a beautiful community that we have here at the Freezer Podcast. You guys are the Freezer faithful to us, so thank you so much for watching and sticking around with us. We really do appreciate it. You know where to follow us. You see all of our handles here. We do a lot of talking on Twitter, so if you want to engage with us on there too outside of this show, then you can. And also we're here on Game On Wisconsin Network, so you can check out all the shows that are on here, and give us a nice shout and like on the page and follow us, and check us on the Sweep Studios page as well. Fred does an amazing job with that, so we have it on our Instagram and we have it on Facebook, and it is great. What, Fred?
I cannot take all the credit for Sweep Studios. My boy Nathan from the beautiful country of Canada. He is my graphics guy. So I can't take a ton of credit for it. I'm just very quick at making sure that the graphics get back on there. But no, he's the man.
Yeah, and hey, just to let you guys know, we have so many people in here today, and this is amazing. So keep your eye out. We are going to be dropping some sort of stuff, come lately, some merch, as they would say. So keep your eye out. I know, we got a lot of support for, all of our other shows. And yes, we have ourselves a giveaway. We said we're going to give some stuff out, and we have a nice little street sign that we want to give away. It's an actual street sign. It's not some fake thing. Fred won't even give me one. And I was like, kind of angry about it. So, so stick around to the whole show. We have giveaways. We want to give back to you guys because you guys keep coming back to us every week for an entire hour. And it's awesome. So thank you so much. We're going to keep giving crap away to you guys. So,
perfect for your man cave or your she shed.
Yeah, it's better than the flag behind Matt. So,
we should just give it to Matt.
Whoa, don't hate on my Walmart flag, bro. This thing is
I've literally have so many photos in my office that they're on the floor everywhere. And yet, Matt has I know.
You know what? Up until like the first show we were doing, we were going to be in the sweep studios. So I just ran out and got the first thing I could find. I will say this: season 2 on Game On Wisconsin, I will change the background. It'll be better, all right?
Did you say she shed?
And make sure too, guys, that in the off season, I think we've talked about doing a little bit of a crib style edition. So you guys will actually get a chance to really get to, I'll dive in. We'll do a full video
some cool stuff
of all the stuff in there. I mean, there's like things in here you guys don't even know about.
Yeah, you get to check out my house. You can check out his house is cooler, but
we'll show you Matt's flag.
We'll get Matt's, but you know what? We'll
one of a kind flag, right? You'll never find this anywhere.
That's literally all the memorabilia that Matt owns.
Listen,
that flag.
You know what though? Listen. The flag might win us a fucking Super Bowl. So if we win a Super Bowl, that flag's not coming down.
Oh no, it's staying. It's staying there.
I mean, obviously, but like at this,
no.
I think it's taken on a life of its own, and now it's just
you don't jinx something like that, Sanjay.
I'm not jinxing shit. I'm just saying, like, look, he's the flag guy. So look at mommy's there to protect him.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. You know what?
Ed.
You need your mom
up on me,
for you, huh?
Hey, leave my son alone.
Fight your own battle.
Tell her to get me a better flag for Christmas.
Ooh.
Why don't you guys do that?
Ooh.
There you go.
Sounds like someone just updated their Christmas list for Santa. Hey, Fred, why don't you tell them real quick? I mean, have we discussed how they're going to win this? Said sign.
No.
Oh. Fred's age, you get a sign.
No, we'll do a classic social media type giveaway. Like it, share it, and then we'll give you guys a week, and then next week Tuesday, we'll pick and announce the winner. So I'll take a picture, or I'll have Sanjay come over and take a picture of him with the sign because he's like my usual test.
I'm not your mascot, goddammit.
Well, you have a nice smile.
Oh, thank you.
So anyway, so that's what we'll do. We'll probably take a picture of it, like it, share it, tell some friends about it, or I'll just hand it off to our beautiful social media person and let her run with it.
Oh, look at that. Perfect. Aaron, thank you so much. This is what happens, Aaron, when you come back to the show. Now you have so much work to do now. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, we got plenty of work for you. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. So, hey, and just to let you know, we have plenty of that stuff. Fred steals a lot of Packer stuff from the stadium, so he has a lot of signs. So, yeah, we'll get you a lot of giveaways. So just know that. He just does this with his ring, and then they all just give him just everything. They shower him with gifts. So,
they're like,
yeah, he's got mad respect. So,
whatever you want.
All right. That was the hero of the game. We got to talk about other stuff. Let's real quick run through the NFC North. Well, we beat the Lions, so that's done. Vikings. Well, they lost to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I actually thought they might actually kind of squeeze one out there for a minute, and then I realized that they're the Vikings, and they didn't have a kicker, and he missed basically like 10 points, I think that was. So
to my point, man, they just like Minnesota would probably trade a first rounder for Mason Crosby from us. I'm not even kidding you.
Yeah,
absolutely. I will say this about Minnesota, and you guys, everyone in the world that knows me or you guys know me, knows my sincere, absolute death-like hatred for the Minnesota Vikings, and how interesting and how effing depressing is it that we're going to have to watch Jefferson for the next 5 to 10 years with the Minnesota.
It's sour.
But you're smarter than everybody, Fred.
Well, thank you.
And you know that we weren't getting him. So the fact that
it's not about us not getting him. It's about these couple facts. It's about the things that I've always found very interesting about the NFC North. And it's great because we always win and we're always on top. But when you look at some of the most iconic players at certain positions, when you look at Detroit, having Barry Sanders. Now that didn't make them win anything, but he was one of the greatest. Calvin Johnson, Randy Moss, Adrian Peterson in his heyday, Walter Payton. You look at these like some of my, unfortunately, guys that I really liked watching play, but they're always on the other team. And Jefferson, from everything that I've seen, and then also off the field, seems like another one of those guys that I'm like, God, if he was on any other team, I'd be like rooting for him constantly. But now I have to be like, F you because you're on the Vikings. So I feel bad. Like he's the kind of guy that like I would probably drive next to and give the old Clark Griswold flip off to. But then get past him and be like, God, he's a really good football player.
As Neil says here,
he can't throw him the ball.
The Vikings can draft Randy Mosses and Justin Jeffersons, and the Lions can get Barry Sanders. But as long as they're not getting Brett Favre's and Aaron Rodgers,
we're good.
We're good.
Agreed.
We're
good. 100%. Yep. And that's why. And that's why we win. And they would probably trade the Barry Sanders, and they would probably trade the Randy Moss for our opportunities. And they tried to even with Brett Favre, but it's just ironic to me because it's like, man, I've always wanted one of those types of receivers. I've Randy Moss, Justin Jefferson. Now, as I say that, I back up a little bit because, and I'm gonna kind of totally diverge off what we were just gonna talk about. So I'm sorry about that, really quick, Sanjay. But I want to take a really quick second to just say how incredible it is to have Davante Adams on our football team, because I have for my entire life put that Madden disc in and gone on and created my little receiver, and he had dreadlocks. So he had dreadlocks, and he had the teens number, and he had the yellow shoes and
the visor,
the visor and the yellow gloves, and he was always this dope character.
Him out.
And I always put like a name like Tyrone Davante or like Dr.
Tyrone. Now you got.
I'm just saying. It's not that.
Is this something you want to tell us about who you want to be?
All I'm just saying is that I've always wanted that receiver, and now we have him, and it's super freaking awesome to watch. And I just want to point out before you guys jump in, Michael Thomas hurt, DeAndre Hopkins baller, but Julio Jones, Tyreek Hill worthy, Michael Evans, Chris Godwin, Amari Cooper, Stephon Diggs worthy, all before Davante Adams in the top 100 for the 2020. So every one of those who decided we're going to put him at number 57, y'all are a bunch of idiots, and you need to be called out on it because he had the same year pretty much that he did last year, and it's even better this year. So you better put him into a really high category because the guy is absolutely clinical. Run this past
you guys. I might get some flack on this, but would you be okay with kind of calling him a predator-ish? I know it was Matthew's thing. I know he would sack him, but he's got the dreads that actually like kind of resemble more of predator.
Okay. Let me quick jump on this here, and because in college,
corners,
my roommates, Gun Show, and everybody else, the true predator was not Clay Matthews. The true predator was actually Atari Bigby, because he was the most predator-looking character on the field. So when we look at predators, we used to shorten it to Preds, which was like dreads, which the dreadlocks.
Atari Bigby was like the human version of the hit stick. He was either gonna just knock you the next week or just whiff. Predator.
Yeah, that's the thing. You don't have a lot of those guys anymore. Now they just make sure they tackle. So
yeah, I know Clay Matthews did the predator, but he was really like not the predator.
Didn't have the
no. Yeah, that's why I was kind of just saying like Davante likes to eat corners for breakfast, and it's like, you know what, that's kind of predator like.
I can get down with that.
Yeah, but anyway, just a side note, just a sidebar there. So we have the prime time game of a Saturday night. This is beautiful. We get to have, one day earlier, one less sleep, as a lot of people say, before our Saturday game. And it's against the Carolina Panthers, who we've had a lot of run-ins with in our time. And you know what? I don't know what the situation with Christian McCaffrey is. I mean, he was supposed to be okay to go last week, but then he had a little hammy issue. Just based on our luck, we'll probably get him fully healthy and fully ready to go. But which is fine because I want to see how we measured up.
I thought I saw he may not be playing.
Oh, I mean, hey, I don't know.
It's not official, but
I do know that DJ Moore was going to probably be activated. The real question here, though, is does anyone know who their quarterback is?
Teddy Two Gloves. Don't ask me who it was last year because I definitely
Kyle Allen.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, man. See, this is where you need to have a little dream of like what we did last year, and then you just pull up the video, and then he can't figure out who Kyle Allen is. That was your moment there, Fred. That was your moment. And you know what? It's okay. You got.
I'm sorry. Is there a problem?
No.
Well, he didn't want to dunk on his buddy. I appreciate that.
Yeah. All
He literally just
videos-
dumped on you just there.
No, all videos are safe.
Oh, come on. All right.
Come on.
Oh, he crossed the line. He crossed the line. Fred, there you go. Thank you. We've been waiting to debut this one. Sanjay accidentally made the mistake of sending it to me in Snapchat, and I've never screenshotted anything faster in my life than that one. So soak it up, everybody.
Let's leave it in here. Let's get the comments going, folks. This is, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce you to either Salty Sally or the true Negative Nancy.
It's like it's Negative Nancy. If you evolved into a Negative Nancy,
Yeah.
there is right there.
Look,
You better go get your manager because she's pissed.
hey, you know what? I look beautiful there. First off, I got some.
We were
beautiful-
talking before the show. I said, Sanjay, if you
Not
were,
bad.
yeah, that's pretty good.
I'll be honest. Actually, you look better.
Whoa,
That's a compliment.
whoa.
You should see me as a woman.
So after we've seen the beauty of me, Panthers. We got them Saturday night. It's going to be primetime under the lights in Lambeau.
None of us there.
It just feels different now, you know, when we don't have fans and it's like a primetime game. Obviously, we get it. We know that this whole COVID thing sucks. But, you know, this is a game. See, look at that. Perfect. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Look at that smile. Thank you from your own wife. Thank you. Wow.
Notice your wife made no comments.
She's
like, I'm taking a pass.
watching the show. She doesn't have the ability to make a comment, you know. So
Okay, Carolina Panthers.
Carolina Panthers. Yes, we have them coming to town. Teddy Two Gloves. He'll be back in the NFC North, where he definitely didn't do that great, but he actually had a couple good games.
It was all right.
But this is a team where it's just like, okay, it's a little bit better than the Lions, I think, but they're not really that much better than like the Eagles. So I don't know where they really stand. I mean, they just came off of a pretty brutal loss to the Broncos.
Yeah, they got blasted.
Just threw like 4 touchdowns where they could barely even field a quarterback a week before that. So, yeah, this is a crazy game because I just don't know what to again, here's another thing where it's like, you know, someone will just say, oh, it's a bad opponent, trap game. Oh, are they going to take it easy because they have the Titans the next week? Is their mind going to be right for this game? I don't know. This is a game where if you have a superstar player like McCaffrey playing, that could change some elements because you know what? We did do well on the run defense last week. We held them to under 60 yards, I believe, under 65 yards, I think. And that was a big step in the right direction. But this is not DeAndre Swift, if that's the case. So what are you guys' thoughts?
Well, I assume I don't think McCaffrey's playing. I think that's people have been saying that in the chat that the coach.
All right, good. Well, Mike Davis isn't too bad either. He's not.
But I mean, Christian McCaffrey. Mike Davis has got something too, but Christian McCaffrey, it's like they'll dake and dunk you to death over the middle, just get him on Kirksey and run laps around him all day long. So him out of the game is huge. I'm really curious to see Robbie Anderson, who I was interested in the offseason as a pass catcher, and he's had some pretty decent games this year, but I mean, he's going to be probably matched up with Jair. I can imagine Jair is going to be on him, and curious to see how that matchup goes. Jair's been wonderful all year. But I'm kind of like you, Sanjay. I don't really know in terms of their defense what to expect. I mean, in years past, they've kind of hang their hat.
Drew Lock can throw 4 TDs. I think they're pretty
well. That was my next point. Is like, well, if Drew Lock's out there slicing and dicing, I will hate to see what Aaron Rodgers can do to him. So, and a red hot Devontae Adams.
I'm pretty sure that was at home. So,
yeah. So to me, this just feels like a game where the Packers could just mop the floor and just beat the crap out of them and give them all that momentum heading into to their showdown with Tennessee the following week.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead, Fred.
I was going to say, without Christian McCaffrey, they have no identity. They have not had an identity without him for a while. With him, it's terrifying because you're right. He would probably put out 250 all-purpose yards on us. He's just that good. Even if we're playing at our absolute best. Well done, Ryan. The interesting thing is they have, obviously the new coach, which I think does not benefit them in any degree. Offensively, the weapons just aren't really there. Robbie Anderson, like you said, I have him on, I think, one of my my only fantasy team. Relatively solid, but nothing to get too excited about. When you put him against one of the best corners in the game, he's going to be shut down. Their defense, name wise is exciting. It's a lot of guys I think we've looked at over the last couple of years and wish sometimes the Packers took them. Brian Burns, Derek Brown. They just took Gross Matos from Penn State.
Yes.
Shaq Thompson is on that team.
Brian Burns.
Dante Jackson, the corner. But then I look at it and I go, man, it is a drastically young defense. And what does Aaron Rodgers do against drastically young defenses, especially drastically young corners? Their two corners are Rasul Douglas and Dante Jackson. Buckle up, because Aaron Rodgers is going to make you look silly, and Devontae Adams is going to be at the helm of that.
I agree. I mean, it's when you have a weak defense, or a young defense, it really can get, outed. But hey, real quick, go ahead, Matt, or whoever that was. It was just
this question came from Brazil, so I have to
interrupt. Yeah, exactly. We have to always
answer, right?
Brazil, because if we have someone watching from Brazil, I mean, that's awesome. I mean, that's great.
Here's what I think. I think they have. I think they have in-house right now their inside linebackers of the future. I think that Kamal Martin and I do think Chris Burns, they've shown a lot of promise this year, and I think those two guys going into next year should be the two starting inside linebackers. Now, if they add someone in the draft to bolster it, great, but I don't see them going out and spending a bunch of money or making a move. I think they legitimately actually solve the problem if they can just further develop these guys.
Yeah, and I think the Christian Kirksey thing was one of those, like, you didn't sign Blake Martinez, you didn't want to pay him, so you thought you'd kind of cheat the way out by getting us, trying to see if there's anything lightning in the bottle with Kirksey, and kind of bit you in the butt a little bit there. But all right, hey, we only got a few more minutes left. Everybody's waiting for our amazing predictions. That's why everybody's here for basically 55 minutes. So Matthew, Ryan, Jensen,
get it.
All right. As I said, I think Green Bay has a nice head of steam right now, man. They're playing well. They're playing good football. They're playing at home. No fans, unfortunately. But that said, we got a weak Carolina team coming in that you should absolutely have no problem dismissing. I still think, like every Packer game that's ever happened in the last 15 years, the Panthers have some early success, probably score a touchdown or two, make it look close. And then by the end of the game, we're having a laugh because we're looking forward to Tennessee. So I'm going to go ahead and say 38-17 Green Bay.
Interesting.
Modest pick. Very
conservative. Sanjay is going to make a comment here, but I actually am very close to that. And I would prove it to you, but I didn't write it down here. Sorry, I just wanted to really quick read the comments there. I agree. I think it's going to be one of those games where we get there's going to be a couple things, but I think ultimately we're going to run this game out, man. I think it's going to be incredible. I think Devontae Adams is going to make them look silly. Aaron Rodgers is going to make them look silly. My biggest fear for this game is health. That's it. I'm not trying to look forward. I'm not trying to consider Tennessee. I do think that we should easily manhandle this team, and I think we will. That being said, this is a fantastic opportunity for some of those players like Aaron Jones to have himself a game, like some of those, Rashawn Gary and Kamal Martin, for those guys to continue to progress and maybe see some of those veteran guys get their head of steam going. So that being said, I think it's not a big deal. I think it's a 41-17 victory. I think we get 40 burger, and that's about it, baby.
Wow. 40 burger for the old pack there.
Oh, and shout out to my mom who goes with the 35-17 too. That's 3 17s on them. So
wow.
And my mom's actually pretty good at it.
Thank you, Sharon. We appreciate you. All right. So, well, here's the thing. Matt Rule and
this picture. Hold on.
Okay, fun story.
Did you want to hack your account?
Dude, that picture is like when I'm like 19 at an Apple store.
I know what this picture is.
I emailed it to myself. I emailed it to
Make
myself.
fun of it when it comes on.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Love you, Matt.
How cool do I look? Look at those glasses, man.
Come on, let's get
Sanjay. He took that in a freaking Mac store. How cool is that? That's
emailed it to myself.
All
stupid, dude.
I got us winning this game. I'm not going to be an idiot. So, Matt Rule still trying to figure things out with his Temple players that he likes to bring in. So, I'm going to say 31-21. I think Robbie Anderson might give a little bit of I'm not saying he's good. I'm just saying there might be that random like deep one that he gets on the back end and he scores a touchdown kind of thing. I'm going to call that one out for fantasy. So I'm going to say 31-21, and I think this is going to be a really good game in the sense of just I think Rodgers is just going to get 4 TDs and Mason Crosby is going to get a field goal, and then everybody's going to be contributing. So it's kind of like the script that we've been writing out, but go ahead.
Guarantee 1 defensive touchdown.
Okay,
I'm dying for a pick six from Jair. He was so close.
I've been saying that all year, and he still hasn't done it. So I'm done. I'm done.
I don't know what it's going to be, but I'm going to guarantee a pick six. Okay, or no, I'm not going to guarantee. Sorry, pick six. I'm going to guarantee a defensive touchdown. And if it does not happen, then I will pick one person from this entire chat from tonight. And I'll send them a swag bag with some shirts and some koozies and some stuff from Tundra Town and Pride and Glory. And I probably won't pick Tulio because I'm not paying that shipping to Brazil.
Wow. Oh, my God. Tulio, I'm sorry, man. I'd pay for that shipping. I'd pay for the shipping. You know what?
I'll pay for the shipping. If I pick you, and you know what, listen, I'm just kidding, Tulio. Hey, man, I love Brazil.
You're never gonna tune in again.
No, so anyway, I'm gonna pick defensive touchdown. I don't care if it's a fumble, I'll pick whatever it is, but a defensive touchdown. If it does not happen, I will pick somebody, I will enter all the names, random pick it, and whoever it is, I'm gonna send a huge swag bag of a bunch of cool stuff, stickers, bracelets, shirts. We got a whole bunch of crap here that we don't ever give out. So let's start giving some people some stuff. And Tulio, if you win, I got you. JJ in the UK, if you win, I got you. Everybody else, we'll take care of you.
Yeah. So, hey, thank you everybody that came out. There was a huge crowd tonight. We really appreciate it. Love you guys so much. Stick around or keep an eye out on Twitter for our poll our little giveaway for the sign. Like, follow, share, follow us on Sweet Studios, follow us on Game On Network, Game On Wisconsin, follow us on the Freezer Podcast. You know what to do. And you know what? Bring your own juice, as they say on Saturday, because we have a game on Saturday night. Don't forget that. And wash your hands and wash your butt.
Gold member.
Gold member, yes.
I love gold.
With that being said, I'm Sanjay. They're Matt and Fred. We out.
Go Packers.